Hello and welcome to the International Schools Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Taylor, and on the podcast we discuss all aspects of technology and life in international schools, with new episodes live every 2 weeks. We focus on people who are currently working in schools, and we talk about life in their current country and dive into some specific topics. The podcast is brought to you by Acer for Education. People always ask what Chromebooks we recommend and what Windows laptops we recommend, and after trying literally all of them, we always recommend Acer. If you'd like to get more info and try out some devices, please just go to gg.gg/Acer Education. That's gg.gg/Acer Education, and we'll get right back to you. Also, the podcast is brought to you by Events. We're a Google partner. We work all around the world. We've just got one piece of new information right now. This is in January 2021. We're a G Suite Enterprise for Education partner. That's Giuseppe. This is a bunch of premium tools available to people using Google at their schools. We can help you get set up with a free 1-month trial. So please check out the link in the show notes and we'll do that right away. And now, on to the interview. Today we're going to talk about the new Google Workspace for Education versions. As you all know, on February the 17th, Google announced a name change from G Suite for Education to Google Workspace for Education, and they're replacing G Suite Enterprise for Education with a bunch of new paid tiers and also a free tier, and we're going to talk about that today. I'm Dan Taylor. I'm the CEO of Events, and I'm here with James. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. James here. Dan, great to see you. Looking forward to talking to you about this.
Good stuff. Let's jump straight into it then. Let's keep it short and snappy. So we'll have a look at the new versions. So as of now, there are 4 new versions, and these are going to be coming live. The 3 paid versions are going to be coming live in the middle of April. So firstly, Education Fundamentals. It's important to say there's still a free tier. You still get all the same features you used to get in G Suite Enterprise for Education. Nothing's going away. It's just going to be called Education Fundamentals. So that's the free tier, the same as the free system you get now that 98% or whatever of schools currently use. There's then going to be 3 paid tiers. First of all, Education Standard. Now, if you know about G Suite Enterprise for Education, there's a bunch of security and admin tools, and there's also a bunch of teaching and learning tools. And this Education Standard just gives you the security and admin tools and some analytics tools. So we'll talk a bit more about that later. Thirdly, Teaching and Learning Upgrade. This gives you all the teaching and learning parts of G Suite Enterprise for Education. So anything to do with Meet, anything to do with Classroom, anything to do with teaching, all the things like polling, recording lessons, is all in the Teaching and Learning Upgrade. And we'll explain a bit later how that's priced and how it works. And finally, we've got the best version, Education Plus, which I think a lot of you are going to be interested in. This is comparable to G Suite Enterprise for Education. So you get everything in all the versions below. You get all the security and admin tools. You get all the teaching and learning tools. You basically get the full G Suite Enterprise for Education. But it's priced more competitively for most schools. So we're going to get a bit into that.
Okay, so the first one, the new upgrade that's coming is Education Standard. And this is particularly designed for the admin teams, the IT teams. It's giving them more powerful tools to be able to track not just the usage of Google Workspace, but also looking into Classroom. There's going to be better tools for looking at logs in Classroom to see how it's being used. You're going to get better insights. You're going to be able to export logs to BigQuery for better analysis. So you can use database type queries on BigQuery. You're going to be able to manage your devices better. And of course, you've got the data regions as well. So you can actually put users into different data regions.
Got it.
A lot of new security tools coming. Dan, have you got anything to add to that?
No, definitely. I think this is, for people schools that only want the admin tools, this is what they're going to go for Education Standard. If they're happy, they don't need to record Meet. They don't need a bunch of Classroom add-ons, which we're going to talk about. This is a good one to go for. Definitely something that tech directors, IT directors at schools might be looking at to upgrade to.
And definitely, it really resounds with what we've been speaking to schools. And some schools do want the admin features, some want the teaching features, but quite often they want to pick and choose between the two. So in a way, Google's already met that by breaking it apart.
Definitely. And we'll get onto the pricing a bit later. I mean, Google's made it quite competitively to choose the Plus version, so people might want to do that because it's not a big difference, but we'll get onto that a bit later. Cool. So should we get onto the next level? Next is Teaching and Learning Upgrade. This gives you mostly the features in Meet, which you know about. So you can record lessons. You can have up to 250 people on a Meet call. You can stream to 10,000 viewers. There's a bunch of enhanced audio features. You've got polls. You've got attendance tracking, breakout rooms, a lot of really, really cool features. Also in Google Classroom, originality reports, unlimited originality reports for everybody. So great way to do plagiarism checking. Anything to add to this, James?
No, not at all. There's also some new integrations coming along as well. So there's going to be, there are just 4 announced. Dan, do you want to go through these?
Yeah, so this is an important reason why a lot of you might want to upgrade. So in the paid version, so particularly in Teaching, Learning Upgrade and Education Plus, there's going to be Google Classroom add-ons to systems like Kahoot, but there's going to be many more systems there. So there's going to be add-ons, so you can access these systems directly integrating with Google Classroom. And this is only going to be available on the paid versions. I want to mention as well, there's a bunch of technical versions, technical things. For example, getting classroom rosters from your student information system, which is also only going to be available on the paid version. So Google Classroom add-ons available on Teaching and Learning Upgrade and Education Plus, which probably is a good time to bring us on to Education Plus, James.
Yeah, so finally with Education Plus, this is essentially what G Suite Enterprise for Education is now. It brings together all of these new features that are coming to the standard and to the Teaching and Learning Upgrade. And it is replacing the Enterprise product, and the pricing model is slightly different. So you're going to be able to get the ability to stream. I mean, if you're in an environment where you need to stream to up to 100,000 viewers, you've got all of the administration tools on Cloud Search. You've got all the device management, syncing, rosters, all of the logs, and so on with Google Classroom. Everything is available in Education Plus.
Definitely. And I think this is probably a good time to switch to our calculator to show you what these cost and when they're available. Now, if you could get a link up, James, if you don't mind. If you go to appsevents.com/calculator, you can access a spreadsheet. You can make a copy. And this, you can plug in the numbers for your school to see how much each of these individual systems would cost you. It's kind of hidden. It's kind of obscured by the appsevents.com calculator, but we've got euros, dollars, and USD pricing. So you can click on the tab to choose which currency you want to do. So if we start off with US dollars, roughly speaking, so if you see the spreadsheet here, row number 6, current G Suite Enterprise full domain license, this is the current system. This is what it would cost you. And the bottom 3, rows 8, 10, and 12 are the new versions. So you can see here from 1 to 9.6, just to give you a rough idea, if you have a 1 to 10 or less than a 1 to 10 staff to student ratio, it's going to be cheaper to do the current system. So for most people who have less than 1 to 10, it's going to be cheaper to do Education Plus. I know, James, if you want to stick some numbers here for a typical school, like what it would look like.
So, I mean, obviously every school is different, but if we shift to a school that's got 20 students to 1 staff member, which is quite a high ratio of students to staff, you can see down here at the bottom, Education Plus comes in at $100. Maybe we'll just talk about this because the current Enterprise is a pricing model based on per staff pricing model. The Education Standard is based on a per student pricing model. The Teaching and Learning Upgrade, so that's with the new features for teachers, new classroom features, and so on. That's on a per staff pricing model. And then finally, Education Plus, which encompasses everything, goes to a per student model. So what we're doing from Enterprise to Education Plus, the big change is it's going from a per staff pricing model to a per student pricing model. And probably, I think, Dan, in most cases, that's actually going to work out a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, James, if you want to put some numbers here, like say, for example, like 150 staff and 1,000 students might be a typical school, just to give an example. So a school that had 150 staff, if they were getting G Suite Enterprise for Education full domain license right now, they'd be paying for those 150 staff. It would cost them $48 per staff member per year. It would cost $7,200. If they got Education Plus, they will be paying $5 per student per year. So by 1,000, it will be $5,000. So it will be a discount of $2,200. Now, this is a good time to say these new paid versions are available from mid-April 2021. So you can still sign up for G Suite Enterprise for Education right now. We're recording this in February, all the way through March, beginning of April. And then it's going to be a switch, and you can only purchase the new licenses. Now, if G Suite Enterprise for Education is better for you now, you can get a 3-year price lock. So you can get a guarantee you can keep the current price for 3 years. Anything else to say on pricing, Jeff? Yeah, well, I want to add 2 things. Education Standard and Education Plus, you basically have to have for your full domain. So you have to put all your students. If you have 200 students, you put 200 students. That will calculate the price. For the teaching and learning upgrade, this is interesting. This one, you can pick how many staff you have. So let's say, for example, you only have 10 staff. You want to give all the premium meet and classroom features to. If you just add 10, James, please, number of staff, you can see this would only cost you $480. So teaching and learning upgrade, you can just choose the number of staff you want to buy the license for. The other versions, it's all your students.
Exactly. Maybe one more thing to mention there. If you do want the teaching and learning upgrade, it is possible. If you just want it for 10 staff, it is possible to get on a monthly billing frequency. All the others come in at yearly. So yeah, there is that possibility. Education Plus, which has everything, is an annual billing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, also we've got, if you want to go to the euro or pounds, please, you can see here, it's a little bit different. The pricing is actually a bit different. If you go to euros or pounds, it actually goes to a 1 to 13 student ratio to get a better deal. So in terms of customers who are in the UK or in Europe, more likely they're going to get a better deal by waiting to the new April version. Because if you just put if you put the same calculation in here, James, say 150 and 1,000, you'll see here it's half the price. Education Plus is now half the price of G Suite Enterprise for Education. And I think it was 2/3 of the price in US dollars. So a bit more competitive to wait for euros and British pound customers.
And I think part of what Google was thinking here was that when you break apart a school, you've got your teaching staff, you've got your administration staff, you've got your support office staff, you've got your leadership teams. And when they look at doing a pricing for the enterprise, like how many staff are actually included in that pricing? But when you go to Education Plus, it's very clear it's priced on per student. It's a very, very simple pricing model there. That's why it makes it much easier.
I think a lot of schools will be saying, hang on a minute, I've got it. These guys are drivers. International schools might have a bunch of drivers who do G Suite accounts. Some people have parents. It's always a negotiation. Whereas with students, the students here is a pretty clear number. So I think that's why Google have changed the pricing to make it clearer. And honestly, it's more competitive in most cases.
Should we have a quick look at euros?
Yeah, euros pretty much the same as pounds, basically. The price is €3.40 for Education Plus, $2.20. Now, you can see Education Standard. Remember, Education Standard just gives you the admin and security features. Education Plus gives you that plus for teaching and learning. It's about 2/3 of the price to get Standard. So I think a lot of people are going to be encouraged just to get Plus to have all the teaching and learning as well as the admin and security features.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
And similar thing, similar ratio, much better deal. If you had 150 staff and 1,000 students, much better deal to wait. I want to say, please check out this calculator again. If we could just stick up the link, please, James, appsevents.com/calculator. You can make a copy of this. You can plug in the numbers for your school. I also want to say that, of course, we are a Google Workspace for Education partner. We've been a partner for 10 years and we specialize in PD. So what we can really offer to schools is if you purchase any of these versions through us, we can give you great support, we can give you great training, and we can really make sure that you get the most out of all these features. So if you're interested, there's a link at the top of the spreadsheet, appsevents.com/Giuseppe trial. Go there, give us your school name, and we can give you some more information about how to purchase these. Right now, all these Education Standard, Teaching, Learning Upgrade, and Plus all need to be purchased via a partner. So via a Google partner like AppsEvents. In the future, Teaching and Learning Upgrade will be available to purchase yourself via a credit card. This is what James mentioned. It can be monthly billing, and you can pick the number of staff. So if you want to just put a few staff on Teaching and Learning Upgrade, you can in the future purchase yourself. But as of right now, February, March, April, and probably for quite a few months this year, I don't know how long, it's only going to be possible through a partner. The pricing is the pricing. Google sets the pricing, so whichever partner you choose, the pricing will be the same. I guess what we can offer from Apps Events is really good support and training.
Yeah, just in closing, I think I just want to mention, I think one of the most exciting releases that's upcoming is the ability to directly sync with your student databases. So for the paid versions, instead of double entering grades in Google Classroom, then taking that to your SIS or whatever you're doing with that, or maybe you've got an API sync going on, you won't need that. It's going to be a direct link to limited SIS to begin with, but then I'm sure it's going to roll out to the big ones over the next few months.
I think this is going to be the feature that turns Google Classroom from a kind of a niche product to being a full learning management system. Obviously a VLE, it's called in the UK, LMS in most other countries. I think this is a thing, integration with the SAS, pushing out student rosters, etc. I think this could really push it to the next level. And remember, the free version is always going to be free, but Google is pushing more and more premium features into these paid versions.
That's it. Well, thanks, Dan. Just a quick one, please. If you've watched this video, please just hit the like button. It really helps us out. Share it out. If you found this useful, please share it out to people. By all means, access the calculator, make a copy of it, put your numbers in for your school. You got some questions, contact Dan or myself. We can certainly go through that.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great day.